On? Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call the July 16th, 2024 meeting of the City of Charleston Committee on Ways and Means to order. Thank everybody for being here. And this evening, I'd like us to begin with a moment of silence. And as we do that, please keep Councilmember Gregg and his family in your thoughts as he goes through the passing of his father. Chief Walker, who also is dealing with the passing of his father, but also in those thoughts, remember to lift up Councilmember Appel and his family as he's brought new life into this world. So with that, let's have a moment of silence, please. Amen. Thank you. Okay, first order of business is approval of our minutes from June 18th, 2024.
Second.
Is there any discussion, additions, deletions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, bids and purchases. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion on any matter? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Number 4 is approval of the CARTA 2024 fiscal year budget, 2025.
Move for approval.
25 budget.
Second.
Just quick moment, if you don't mind. Mr. Mitchum from the BCD Cognitive CARTA is here. If I can just indulge y'all for a minute to have him come up, introduce himself, give you a couple of very 50,000-foot highlights on what's cooking at CARTA in 2024 and in 2025. Mr. Mitchum, you got the floor. We'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I learned a long time ago to stop while I'm ahead, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. Obviously, things are going pretty well. LCRT project that we're doing in conjunction with the COG is on schedule, moving as planned. We expect to have the 6% design approved by the end of the month and start right-of-way acquisition in August. So that's moving along as we expected at the moment. As far as the traditional system, we continue to make strides in getting back to our pre-COVID numbers. So every month seems to get a little better. Months like these will set us back a little bit because some of our riders who have options don't have to go out every day, and days like today don't go out today. So we'll probably see a little bit of a setback in those numbers because of the warmer temperatures, but all in all, things are moving pretty well. I'll mention a couple things that we'll be taking on the next year that are in the jurisdiction, the City of Charleston, and that is the Mount Pleasant Street parcel park and ride. We're in the second round of reviews with the DCR, and so, or DRC. So we'll get those completed here shortly, I think, in probably the next 30 to 60 days, and then headed to construction during this fiscal year. This budget actually starts October 1, but because we have to go to all of our member governments, we have to kind of start early to make the rounds. So I think the last thing I'll stop with is that we have almost finalized the downtown study looking at future transit services. So it gives us a blueprint or a plan or a map going forward as to how we want to expand service on the peninsula to provide a higher level of service, because there's an awful lot that's happened down here. There's areas we're not touching, we know we need to touch. So we'll be coming back to you and talking about that in the future, because there's obviously some discussions we want to have about how we phase that, and then how we do business in the transit malls. It gets a little bit busier down there, so we'll have to coordinate with your staff, and certainly want to make sure that we're communicating well to make sure that we don't create problems as we're attempting to provide a higher level of service. So I'll stop there, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Mitchum? Any questions on the CARTA budget for 2025? We've had a motion and a second. If there's no questions, going once, going twice. All in favor? Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Always
you
good
being
to see
here.
you.
Next, number 5 is Budget, Finance, and Revenue Collections approval of the annual assessment report and an updated assessment roll for the King Street Business Improvement District, otherwise known as the BID, and confirming the collection of assessments for the 2024-2025 assessment year by resolution. I will note that Ms. Amy Barrett is here to my right. She is the newly hired Executive Director of the King Street BID. Thank you for being here. The purpose of this resolution is to approve the general budgeting process, including the monies that are going to be collected through the process of the BID, which, by the way, for those of you who are new to this, the BID, which is a self-engaged, self-performing entity, has 495 properties in it, each of which pay an additional, on top of their already collected property taxes, additional 4%, which goes back into the BID, and that provides the bulk of the budget for the BID. The rest, the city contributes $200,000, the county's contributing some, but the bid is essentially self-perpetuating. And if you haven't been on the King Street lately and looked, you may see some really market improvements in there, including but not limited to the King Street ambassadors. They're easy to identify. They're clad in bright clothing and hats. They're out there every day making the street a better place. So I need a motion and a second on this, if you also include. We've got a motion and a second. Any questions on the bid for BFSC? Ms. Wharton, Ms. Barrett is here to answer any questions you've got. Any questions from any member of council? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you for being here. All right, next, Budget and Finance Revenue, approval of a memorandum of understanding with the Gilliard Management Corporation related to the purchase and installation of acoustic sound paneling and other sound quality improvements as approved during the 2024 budget process. We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. 7, it's a long one. Feel free to move at any time during the reading. Resilient Sustainability, accept the 2025 Second Department of Environmental Services grant. We've got a motion and a second. The grant amount is $14,250. Any discussion? All in favor? Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. 8, Recreation Department, approval to submit a grant application to the USDA Summer Food Services Program. We've got a motion and a second. No matching city required for this grant. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. 9, Legal Department, approval for staff to submit the city's Year 2 continuation application for $800,000 plus in the available funds from the opioid relief fund. Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. 10, Office of Cultural Affairs, approval to apply for the renewal of the Artistic Vitality General Operations Grant from the Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation. No city match. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Office of Cultural Affairs, yet again, approval to accept an award of $5,700. Got a motion and a second. Money is flowing in. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. 12, man, I need to take a deep breath on this one. Housing and Community Development. Just for those who are following it on home, this is approval for contract for the construction of 10 new townhomes at 1555 Juniper Street in the Ardmore Sherwood Community Subdivision community in the amount of $3,385,000. So it's not a small project. So with that, we do have a motion and a second. I did maybe see a hand to my left.
Yep. Just wanted to make a point that while this is a $3.385 million expenditure, for clarity that these are going to be sold, so money will be coming back to us. It won't be the full amount, but it should be somewhere between 80-85%. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Exciting.
I want to congratulate Ms. Shaw Johnson on this one. She's been working part of her entire career to get this done. And you're right, Mr. Mayor, it's a owner occupied. There'll be some subsidy left, but a lot of money will come back so we can repeat the process. Thank you.
Councilmember Gregory. Ms. Shaw Johnson is approaching the microphone.
You sure did.
She has
So-
now arrived.
Councilmember Gregory, these are fee simple townhomes, so Long Barrel is condominium regime. These are ownership, but fee simple. So
Okay.
there will be no regime. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for anybody on this one? Okay, got a motion, a second, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Budget, Finance, and Revenue Collections, and ordinance amending ordinance number 2023-278 entitled an ordinance to raise funds for the fiscal year ending December 23rd, 2024. Budget amendment. Got a motion, a second. Any questions on this one? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. 14, Stormwater Management, approval of the Earhart Street Tunnel Extension Change Order Number 7, which is in the amount of $779,927. This was presented at Public Works yesterday by Mr. Fountain. There were some unexpected conditions, subterranean conditions, and some infrastructure conditions which have caused this change order. It is substantial, but we're getting to the end of that project and it has so far been a success. We've got a motion and a second. Are there any questions for any member of our team on this change order? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Let's get that project fully up and running. All right. Parks Capital Projects.
Move for
to submit a
approval.
Grant application to the South Carolina Conservation Bank. This one's requesting $500,000 towards the acquisition of Harmony Public Trust. We've got a motion and a second. You can't shut me up that easily, but thank you for trying. I could read the whole thing, but I'm not going to do it. I still got 16 more minutes up here, my moment of glory. That being said, any questions, comments, concerns on number 14, on number 15, sorry, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. 16, Parks and Capital Projects. Again, approval to submit a grant application to the Charleston County fiscal year 2025
Move for
Green Belt
approval.
Program requesting $500 again towards Harmony. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Harmony's having a good night. Afternoon, anyway. All right, number 17, the last on the main part of our agenda, Parks Capital Projects, approval of Fire Station number 9 HVAC replacement professional services contract in the amount of $548,844. We've got a motion, a second. Any questions on this one? Keeping fire stations cool. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we turn to our Committee on Real Estate. Councilmember Appel, were you there yesterday for that?
Amazingly, I was there.
Attaboy, without any sleep, so y'all pay attention to see
right,
if
bear
he
with me.
remembers this.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Turn it
Chairman. City of Charleston Committee on Real Estate met yesterday afternoon. Considered several very important infrastructure-related items. The first item up was a purchase and sale agreement for a new radio shop for the police department and police fleet, both of which are currently leased, and this is going to be hopefully a permanent home. This is over in West Ashley, over on Savage Road and Executive Hall. Contracts for $1 million with 90-day due diligence period. The hope is to get this closed by the end of the year. We talked about some of the stormwater issues and zoning issues as well. That these properties are actually in the county currently, so they'll need to be annexed in and upzoned to business park in order to accommodate this. So it's good to hear that the eye is on the ball with respect to some of these due diligence items, so we can make sure that these very important city functions have a permanent home where we no longer have to pay rent and are at the mercy of a landlord. And so that item was approved unanimously. Next item up had to do with Fire Station 20 over off of Clemens Ferry, over in Councilmember Boyd's district. And this was simply to extend the due diligence period of the contract. Currently, it's set to expire August 9th. The new due diligence period would run around Thanksgiving, again, with the hope of closing before the end of the year. And the need for the extension is the developer wants some additional time to pull permits, clear the land, do the fill, just to make the site ready for development. So that was unanimously approved by the committee. And then we had a matter related to the Ashley River Bike and Pedestrian Bridge, and this was for temporary construction easement and fee simple conveyances with respect to the marsh parcel, sort of, I guess, to the south of the northbound 17 bridge there. And this is to help facilitate construction of the project as well as provide some additional space for permanent infrastructure to be located there. Total cost for the city is $10,000 to be split between the temporary construction easement at $5,000 and then the conveyance and fee simple at another $5,000. This was unanimously approved as well. And there was also some discussion about ensuring that we loop in any of the property that actually extends into the waterway of the Ashley River. The deed here is a little unique as a sovereign grant from over 100 years ago. And it's great to see that we're doing such a good job on all these real estate matters with our eye on some very complex real estate issues on the front end as opposed to the back end. And so that item regarding the bike ped bridge was unanimously approved as well. We then voted on 2 annexations. The first was a commercial annexation over off of Savage Road and Executive Hall. This is right by the properties that are under contract for the new radio shop and police fleet. And the idea is to bring that parcel in under our business park zoning. And then there was a residential property over in District 9. Both of these annexations received unanimous approval. We then went into executive session to discuss some property acquisition matters related to the Windermere Basin improvement project over in District 11. It's a very important stormwater project over there. We came out of executive session and then approved the property acquisition plan with authority to include up to eminent domain. The goal is never to go that far. However, it's important to provide our staff with that authority to have effective negotiations. But the thought is to negotiate terms for these easements. These are not going to be fee acquisitions for about 4 parcels over there in the South Windermere community to facilitate much needed larger pipes along Ackerman, and then also an area over by Chadwick and Windermere to allow a crossing over the Greenway to get to this new outfall behind the St. Andrews Math and Science school over there. So this is a very important project. It's been underway now for, I think, about 8 years. We just secured another $1 million in funding through the state budget that was adopted a couple weeks ago, and very excited to see this project moving along. And this acquisition plan with the authority previously mentioned was unanimously approved. So all big, important infrastructure projects at the real estate committee yesterday, everything was approved unanimously. And it's great to see that we're moving forward on all these important projects. And with that, I will offer my report.
And we got a motion to accept the report and a second, along with the ordinances therein. Is there any discussion on any of these many important matters?
Yes,
Yes, sir, Councilmember Waring.
I'm gonna defer to my colleague from District 11. He did a great job recognizing all the heavy lifting that took place on this one, but there were some colleagues from other elected bodies that you recognize that I think you probably want to do right now.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I slept 2 hours last night. Very important. I would be remiss. I mean, first, it all starts with our stormwater staff. They've done incredible job vetting this project. You know, you don't get these grants from the state unless you have it very fully vetted. The governor vetoes projects that are half-baked. This survived vetoes because of how well vetted this project was. We have a total of $3.5 million in state grants on this project. That's money from this year, last year, and the year before. And what that does is it frees up money in the drainage fund for projects in everybody else's district. So the more money, the better. And wouldn't have been possible without Representative Stavronakis leading the way for us up in Columbia. Senator Sen has done a tremendous job up there as well. And thank you to the governor for not vetoing any of this. I mean, let's throw.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah, let's throw him in there as well. And this project, like a lot of the infrastructure projects we do around here, require major multi-jurisdictional coordination. This project, we're having to play nice in the sandbox with Charleston Water Systems, who owns the Greenway. This is a project that's going to have many intersections and implications with the Greenway. They've been helping us out. And then Charleston County School District has actually been a big cooperating entity in this. I've met with several of the school district board members as well as some of their staff. They gave us an easement that runs in the back of the St. Andrews Math and Science School so we can establish a new outfall back there. They had a lot going on over there at the school district over the last couple of years. They found the time to make this happen, and I'm very, very much appreciative of that. So I think we've touched on about every branch of local government in the state with this project, but it takes that to get things done around here. And couldn't be more happy with the way this is going, and looks like we'll be completed in 2025, if not early 2026. So very excited about this. Thanks for the reminder.
All right. Thanks for the reminder. Any other questions, comments, concerns about anything from the real estate report? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. Is there anything else to come before the Committee on Ways and Means? If not, by acclamation, we are hereby adjourned.